put out as is, or I want an independent investigation in which all the people mentioned in this report are actually interviewed, and the evidence is gathered as it should be. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. This report was commissioned at the time of the punitive order. Report was all about fire protection in garage. We wanted to look at really what went wrong. And yes, this report mentions a couple of names, but the whole purpose of this report was fire protection of the garage. By looking at the data, looking at the facts, and putting facts in chronological order, I probably would let you continue here. Would you elaborate just briefly the history of this and what really?
Well, that's up to the board. If the board directs me to make a report available publicly to unit owners, I will do that.
Speaking of the history of this report, would you like to speak briefly of the history of this report? Why this report came about and what really happened? How did you draw conclusions?
Well, the history of this report came about because the board directed and the president insisted that a review be made to see what happened and why. The report, and it's understandable why people who are accused of wrongdoing would challenge the report. As I said at the outset, people have their own versions of what they did and why.
The
However,
evidence is the evidence.
the evidence
Barbara,
And
please.
this is
contained-
not the
Barbara,
evidence.
we did not interrupt you, please.
The evidence contained in the report speaks for itself.
No, it doesn't.
The evidence consists of minutes of meetings. It consists of statements in writing. It consists of public records. It consists of admissions made by people in the legal sense of that term. And it includes, as I said, 61 exhibits of 240 pages now. You know, facts are sometimes uncomfortable things and unpleasant things, but they remain facts. What people did and what people said, that exists, and that's confirmable. The report states simply what happened over the course of the last year. Exactly in chronological sequence, supported by the documents. I certainly have no problem with, if the board wishes to have the report issued, that is entirely within the control of the board. I've made a number of recommendations, including certain legal proceedings where the truth will out. Both directors, Tokay and Lungo, were invited to present their side of the story. Both refused.
You declined.
No.
You declined twice.
The records will speak for themselves.
And
When was I invited?
Miss
Was that
Courtney
my side
also
of the
over the
story?
phone when we were having a meeting. I said, "Can we speak about this now?" And she said, "We should have another session for this another time." I asked you after one meeting, "Can we speak about it now?" You said, "No, not now." And I answered most of the questions you asked me anyway, and I also answered Russell's
recall
questions. Yes,
that.
you were on the phone.
Let's
And I asked
Franco,
Russell.
that's not true.
That is so true. That is so true. And,
please come to the Frank.
Not true.
Since this report
and Russell had
concerns,
called me down 2 weeks ago, and I gave information that he requested. Is that correct, Russell?
please,
Remember?
please,
And Diana was there, and I'm still waiting for those minutes.
please. This report concerns more than just two directors. It concerns entire association. It concerns
That's
conduct
correct.
of.
It does.
Would you please?
It does.
Would you please let me finish? Concerns conduct.
Alleged-
It does concern
alleged.
conduct. It concerns
Would you please?
conduct
Would you?
of more than
you not?
the directors
Would you please?
mentioned in
Barbara,
the-
you not
Yes, that's
recognized.
what he just said.
It
Yes, I know
concerns
you don't
conduct
recognize
of a
it.
management
The truth
company
is
and
uncomfortable,
managerial
isn't
staff.
it?
But that's why we need an independent
Franco,
attorney.
would you let me
Let's clear
finish,
it up.
please?
The facts
Go ahead.
are
Slava, would you like me to
uncomfortable,
make the motion
Yes, please.
that Kingman
Yes.
sent in its entirety? Okay, this is a very long and complex motion, and after it's made and seconded, it can be discussed in, not only in whole, but actually in parts.
And how defamatory is this motion?
Barbara,
Please,
you
don't
get
wait.
to be the judge. Okay,
Judith.
we all get to be the judge.
Please, who could-
Resolution
Go
of the
for it,
Board
Judith.
of Directors of the Galaxy Towers Condominium Association, Inc., February 18th, 2010. I'll give you a copy of this, okay? Whereas Corporate Counsel has delivered to the Board of Directors a report which includes 61 exhibits containing over 240 pages of documents concerning fire safety issues and the action of management personnel and members of the board. And whereas the board has reviewed the report and has met in executive session to determine the appropriate actions to be taken. And whereas a summary of the report has been prepared and delivered to Cooper Square Realty. Now therefore, it is resolved by the Board of Directors as follows. 1. A summary of the report shall be prepared by corporate counsel and delivered to the GTCA unit owners. 2. Corporate counsel shall formally request a meeting with appropriate representatives of Cooper Square Realty and the board to discuss compensation to the GTCA and also such further corrective action as may be necessary to ensure that such managerial misconduct as is described in the report of counsel is not permitted to recur. 3. A summary of the report shall be prepared by corporate counsel for delivery to the fire marshal, mayor, and council of Guttenberg, as well as to the appropriate officials of the state of New Jersey responsible for fire safety issues, along with a request that the fire marshal and appropriate state officials meet with a specially constituted committee of the board to review the status of fire safety issues at the Galaxy Towers and assist in the preparation of a long-term plan to address such issues. 4. A special committee of the board shall be appointed to review the creation of a management committee or such other form of permanent committee which shall be responsible for maintaining regular contact between the board, management, the office of the GTCA controller, and corporate counsel to ensure that the BOD shall regularly and accurately be informed concerning the conduct of all GTCA management and professional agents and employees. 5. Corporate counsel is directed to further report to the board concerning any legal action which may be appropriate against any person, persons, or organization for compensation to the GTCA and its unit owners for costs, expenses, and damages which are the result of any misconduct reported to the board by counsel. 6. Corporate counsel is hereby directed to proceed in accordance with the Directors' Code of Ethics with regard to Directors Barbara Tokay and Franco Lungo, and Directors Tokay and Lungo are hereby excluded from any further deliberations, meetings, and decisions of the board
Kangaroo court.
in
Yes,
connection
indeed.
with the actions to be taken as described in this resolution, and further, they shall not be permitted to serve on or attend meetings of any of the committees created pursuant to this resolution.
Well, of course not, because the
7.
truth would out. Judy.
Corporate counsel
Isn't that
is directed
true?
to request the judgment against the GTCA by Franco Lungo be vacated, and counsel shall represent the GTCA in the action brought against the GTCA by Lungo. 8. Corporate counsel is directed to request the court hearing the lawsuit brought by Imperial Painting against the GTCA to permit the addition of Franco Lungo as a third-party defendant to such lawsuit. Do I have a second?
I second it.
All right, now I would suggest that, this obviously, I think, needs to be discussed in part.
Oh.
No, why? You brought it all
What
up
do you
now.
mean, why not? Why
No.
discuss anything? Why
You-
not just vote to